John, good to speak to you. Thanks for being with us. Can we start with just a brief update from the Torquay game? Bumps and bruises. Everyone okay coming through that?
Yeah, everyone's fine. They're all trained today, so everyone's okay. Yeah.
And Nathan Tyson, what's his recovery looking like at the moment?
Yeah, he's okay. He's we stepped him up. He's trained. He's trained again this morning, so we'll have a look how he is tomorrow. If there's no no problems with that, then he should be fine to get going and kick on.
In terms of your front line at the moment, Alex Kwamba's started the 2 games since he's joined, but obviously hasn't had an awful lot of pre-season. Could 3 games in a week be too much, or is he still very much in contention?
No, he's very much in contention, like they all are. They're training. So obviously, I speak to them every day. Spoke to them all this morning to see how they are, how they recovered. We've done extra recovery session with the lads who started on Tuesday. So they're all fine, ready to go.
3 goals in 3 for Tom Denton. Just how good has he been at the start of this season?
Yeah, I've said all along about what Tom is. We know what he's capable of, and we know what he can't do. But he still has a go at it. He's we're talking about getting opportunities to score more goals. That's what he's dangerous. Thought the goal he took the other day was good. He showed good anticipation from the free kick, and he has been a good focal point for us. So he's an important part of what we do.
All right. Well, let's talk Stockport then. They appear to have started pretty well. Lots of goals already. What do you make of what you're facing on Saturday?
We're obviously playing a team that's first and foremost had a good summer. So they've recruited well. They're obviously in good form. They're one of the favourites to go up this year in our league. A team that score a lot of goals, what we've seen. A team that's got good players. So a very tough game we're expecting. But we know what the challenge is. We know what we play the same for every game. We know what the strengths are. We look where we'll be able to expose their weaknesses, and but the preparation is just the same.
So Stockport and clearly a lot of talent in that side, but I mean you're going to want to impress yourselves on the game as well, especially with the TV cameras there.
Yeah, we just want to we want to bounce back from the result that we had on Tuesday, and we obviously we want to play well whether there's cameras there or not. We want to be competitive this season in this league. We know the games are coming thick and fast. We know we're playing teams that we know are good sides. So every game is different regardless of what we're up against, regardless personnel. But and sometimes people change the formation. Sometimes logistics hamper because like Tuesday night we had a long journey, which is again we have to build into the planning of how we're going to go about the game. But like this is these is totally different. We're live on TV. It's an evening kickoff, and against a team it's in really good form. So we've got to make sure that we turn up.
In terms of your side and the opening few games of the season, you spoke in the week about the long-term plan for Chesterfield. Where is this squad now compared to where you believe it is capable of being?
Well, we're building, and we're building, and we always want to try and make the team better. We always want to try and improve on the field. We want to try and improve off the field. I think from coming through the door from day one and looking at where we were, if you look at us now, we were, initially we were bottom of the league, 5 points adrift, going into the North, National League North. In the space of, I think it's maybe 15 games or so, we've got a better balance to our squad, and we're sitting, I think, 12th or 14th in the league. So we are improving. But it's not something that we can improve overnight. It's one of those that it's going to be small steps. The other part of that, we're now blooding some youngsters that weren't involved. So we're adding a little bit of value to what we think is our squad, and trying to build for the future. and all the time we're looking to improve. But we've got a budget in which to work to. We've got a wage structure in which we've got to work to. So we've got to filter that in when we're looking at recruitment or trying to bring players in, certainly to help or to better what we've got. So I think we're in a better place than we were, maybe 6-7 months ago. But it's still work in progress. I've still got a lot of work to do. I understand that responsibility, but we're trying hard. We're working hard to make to move forward as a club.
Is patience the key word at the moment? Then would you say?
Well, patience is the key. Well, but I'm not stupid. I've been in football a long time. You don't get patience if we're losing football matches. I understand that. We've got to win games because, people, the supporters and we want to win football matches. And so everybody needs patience, but we're not going to get patience if we're not winning football matches. So I've got to gear all that up and work that in with what we're doing. Blooding young players is all well and good, but we can't blood young players with the detriment of if it's costing us football matches. So it's getting the balance right of everything. Making changes when we need to make changes, understanding when a team does need to keep going, because we are getting more games under our belt, and the more games we get, I think the better we'll be. And certainly the players will become match fit. The players are fit, but there's a difference when it's match fit and you're working towards things that are happening that you're not expecting. If you tell a player to run from a cone to a cone in a time, they'll do it. But if they're not expecting what they've got to be doing, then that's different. And they might run 30 yards in a training session, but 30 yards in a game is different tempo, different speeds, with a different mentality, because you're playing for real. So I know we'll get better with the longer we go on. What we've got to keep doing, I think we could quite easily be sat here with 5 points instead of 3. And then there's a different spin on that. I always say give ourselves the best chance to win the next game. If we could have saw that 30 seconds out, the atmosphere on the bus is totally different for the 5-hour journey back than it was. So, the players were disappointed with conceding that goal the other night. But as we're moving forward, everybody, he's got to. We're trying to win football matches. Being patient is one thing, but I understand what the responsibility is of trying to win games.
Thanks for your time, John. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Hiya, John.
Liam, you okay?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm all right, pal.
Looking ahead to Saturday then against Stockport, obviously they're a team with a big budget, they're the title favourites. Do you think this will be a good test to find out exactly where your team are and how close they might be to be able to look up the table rather than down?
Possibly. I think so. Yeah, I think they're all good tests for us. Because I thought, Torquay the other night, Torquay have started quite well. So and I don't think we're a million miles away. Second half performance, when I look at it, could have been better. But with this one, it's another new challenge. We've been toe to toe last year, so we know we can do it without Harrogate, who are doing really well in the Football League, showing people what a good side they are, and we more than matched Harrogate Town. So that's what we look at and take the positives from that. We know we can, on our game, we can give anybody a game. What we've got to do is have the good reaction, which, touch wood, we've always shown when we've lost a game. It does put a little bit more pressure when you lose a game, when you're going into the next one. But we understand that. But yes, to see where we are at this moment in time as a team, playing against probably, other than Hartlepool, probably the most informed team at this moment in time, we'll get a gauge of how close or far we are.
Is it going to be difficult to pick the lads up after conceding such a late equaliser?
No, the lads are fine. We've been through, like I say, we've been through this morning what we always go through. So there's nothing different. We never have a doom and gloom meeting. It's never that, because I don't like them. I just think some, they're not, I was. It's probably the worst I felt after Tuesday's game because, it was a real sucker punch. So, I didn't feel great after the game. I didn't feel great on Wednesday, but, we get our head around it and we move on. This morning we've been in, we've done what we need to do. Lads were good. Lads are in good spirits. They know what the task is on Saturday, and looking forward to the game.
And I suppose with the games coming thick and fast, that there's no time to feel sorry for yourselves, is there? You just got to move on as quick as you can. Yeah,
they don't feel sorry for themselves really. I think that's one of the areas we have moved on from. I think before it would take a while, and only time will tell. When we get the reaction. I mean, you can have certain games, everything's okay, and if something goes against you early on in the game, you don't want the deck of cards. Where one thing falls and the whole thing comes down crumbling. I felt, we went a goal down the other night against I felt the run of play, but I think we responded brilliantly. And in the first half, I felt we would score. I wasn't too worried. Second half, slightly different because we got pinned back a little bit more. But certainly the first half, we were, I felt we were all right. So going into the game, obviously we need to start the game well, which is important, like every game. And I think when you get going, then you get a foothold in the game, and then the game evolves from certain aspects of what happens. You can have a bit of luck, you can have a good start. If something happens, you get a referee decision, and then that dictates sometimes what the game could be. But no, we're ready. We're ready to go.
And on Tuesday night, there was no Tyler Denton or Joe Rowley within the squad. Was that just a case of having to balance up your subs more than anything else? Or?
Well, it's sods law because we balanced off. Because I had Tyler the other day, but then I looked at the subs for Tuesday night, and I said to the players, we need to look at the subs off what changes that we may need, how our players are and feeling. And on Saturday we lost Dents on Saturday, and we lost Loz on Saturday. So I just felt, with looking at the R, if that happened again, we'd be light on headers. And I knew what Torquay were like with the set pieces. So I felt that we needed to go with Hayden, just in case we needed him, than Tyler. I know we could make the change, and Loz could always slip in at left back if need be, and we could move Bukesy at one. But it's sod's law, that happens, and actually we do need Tyler. So, but the 5 subs is, we've got 5 subs. If I sacrifice a goalkeeper, again, that'll be sod's law. That will end up something happens to the goalkeeper. So we can't do that. So I've really got 4 subs. In those 4 subs, I'm trying to look at the changes we need and what, where we could, if we're chasing a goal, what will we need to do? If we were trying to defend a goal, what would we need to do? And if we got any injuries that, we weren't expecting, how we could, without disrupting the whole team, how we could fill those gaps. So, I think it's just the way it panned out.
And Joseph Yarney, how's he coming along? I know you said he had some swelling on his knee early before in the week.
He's okay. Well, he's trained today. He's not trained with us. He's done some other training with us. I'm told I just spoke to the physio now. I'm told he's fine. He's come through that well. So we'll see how he is tomorrow. And then with a view to him training, joining in with the boys tomorrow and seeing what happens then on Saturday.
And the draw for the FA Cup 4th qualifying round is taking place as we speak. How important is the FA Cup for a club like Chesterfield, given the financial picture, but also balancing that off against the busy fixture schedule that you've already got?
Yeah. Well, I think we've just got to take every game on its merits. I think, because it's every fan wants us to have a good cup run, and I'm no different. I've been fortunate enough to play in the final of it, so I know how, what that means as a young kid growing up. So, the FA Cup's important to us, but we just have to deal with the game, whenever the game is, and then deal with the next one after. So, financially, it'll be sad because we still can't have supporters in. So we'd like to get supporters through the door if we can, but as a game, we want to. There's nothing better than winning football matches, and the more games we win, the less tired the players feel. So, you know, if we're winning games, they want to play every week or every, 2 games a week. That's not the issue. The issue is being positive and getting the games and getting the wins under your belt.
Cheers, John, and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, pal.
Cheers.
John, apart from the last minute, we can forget about the last minute. I think we've talked plenty about that. Overall, it wasn't a bad performance on Tuesday, really, was it? Worthy of at least a point.
Well, I think so. Some people might disagree, but I think so. I think I try to look at things as honest as I can. Sometimes after a game, you see something else in it, but I always look at the games after anyway to say, well, I didn't quite get that right, or I didn't, that looks different than I seen it. I just try to be as honest as I can in my assessment. I felt the first half, I felt we were the better team the first half. I felt the goal was against the run of play. The reaction to the goal was excellent. I always felt that we would score. We looked dangerous. We put crosses in the box. We've been through them all this morning, so I know I'm not talking rubbish. I've seen them. So the second half, I didn't think we was good in possession. I felt we ended up, and it's not because of we wanted to do that. We ended up in a bit more of a defensive mode, and that's not what we set out to do. That's not what we spoke about at half time. But even then, I still felt we defended well enough. We were all right. We still had a bit of a threat going forward, but not as much as the first half. But I felt the goal was, I saw it again this morning. It was a definite foul on Mackay in the corner. I think that's just ridiculous, and that comes from that. I thought we responded all right, but we were more than deserving of a point, I think.
Milan and Alex still seem to have some way to go before they can do a full 90 minutes to match. And I think perhaps that's match fitness generally over the whole team, isn't it?
I lost that.
I'll repeat.
Did you say Milan and Alex?
Yeah. Milan and Alex still have some way to go before they can do a full 90 minutes, and perhaps the whole team is a little lacking in the match fitness department.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we are. That's the balance, Ian, really, of getting it right. The players need the games, but what we can't do is just keep flogging them. So that's looking at where they are. We monitor them every day. We look at the GPS. I speak to them every day, see how they are. I think the players are, they're honest enough to let me know if they need a rest. All the players want to play. I asked all the players this morning individually, to pull them off. How are you? How are you feeling? Yeah. Are you ready to go again? Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. Do you need a rest? No, I don't. And I think they're important that I get that feedback from them because then they know what the responsibility is if I pick them. Milan has, he's coming into a new team. He needs, sometimes it's important for him to have a look at us, what we are. I felt when we have 3 players, the 3, him, Smudge and Westy, we just do lose that little bit of quality that Mandeville and Rowley can bring to us. But I have to balance off of what their midfield are, what they like, are they dynamic? So sometimes it's nice to come out and sit down and I said to Man and just have a look at, he gets a look at us so he can see how we fit in. Alex is the same. Alex has obviously been out. He's not done a lot. He's played, he's had a couple of games, but they're not been competitive games. But he'll get better the more, training he's done. He's hardly really trained. So he's been training with us, what he's done. So they'll just get fitter and get better all the time.
Of course, with this goes the likelihood of picking up the odd niggle and thing. At the moment, we've got a couple of injuries on the sidelines, haven't we? But otherwise, we're pretty well okay. Yeah,
it's just all the soft tissue stuff. Don't forget, before we started, the players have had 6 months doing nothing. We've given programs, but it's not the same when they're training and they're on the grass and there's a different feel to the grass. Sometimes it's hard and the summer it's rock hard. Then when we get a bit of rain, our training ground can go really soft. So there's that's different, and we have to be mindful of that. Westy's had an injury, and he came back and we did pre-season, and he had a very similar injury to what Tice had. So the soft tissue injuries are the ones that if you don't deal with them, they can become a problem, and that's kind of where we were. We had to leave Westy out early on because of that reason. He came back. Tice's took a little bit longer, but Tice has been stepping his work up all the time, so he was always going to be a bit sore, and Tice is trained today. He's been back in training today, so we'll see how he is tomorrow. But I don't want to rush anybody back for the sake of one game or half a game when and possibly have a problem where they're missing again for 6 games. Then give them the time so they can fully recover. So we've got them for a long period.
Moving on to Saturday, we have Stockport and yet another tough one, particularly after they've beaten Wildstone 5-2 and Dover 3-0. Do you think that having all these tough matches is actually a very good thing for us? Because with the lack of all the pre-season and that, it does help us get to the full match fitness as you want, and really get going before perhaps the rest of the season.
Well, I don't think it's... Listen, we can look at it 2 ways. We can accept the challenge of it, and we can go, it's a brilliant game to play, because if we beat Stockport here, it's a fantastic result. And are we capable of doing that? Yes, we are. I think we are. If we get it right and the players are at it and they do the jobs properly and they concentrate for 95 minutes, yes, we are. We've proved that. The same team or similar team has proved that before against other opposition. Or we can look at it and say, well, arguably, would we rather play someone who's not as high in the table? But there's always that scope where something could go wrong and we could lose that game, or we could win that game. It's just we just take every game on its merits. This game, it's always a little bit harder when you come off the back of a loss than, like I say, if we could have saw out Tuesday, we're sitting here with a different mentality, with 4 points on the board, having got a good point down at Torquay. So we look at it on its merits, and we deal with the game as and when we need to. I think it's actually quite a good game for us. It could be very difficult, and it will be very difficult. We know that, because they've got a good side. They're a good side, got good players, and they're in good form. But we can be a match. We can be more than a match if we get it right.
One thing you have shown as a manager is that you're very good at getting a team to bounce back after defeat. I mean, you proved that last season, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I just don't think there's any point in, like I say, what I try to be is consistent. I don't try to be too erratic. I was quite emotional after the game on Tuesday, as you would know probably in the interview, because I felt it hurt because of the manner of the goal with 30 seconds to go. I think anybody in football would feel that way about it. I'm sure obviously our supporters watching it would look at that and feel hurt by it, and I felt hurt by it. But what I try to be is consistent all the time. So when I deal with the players, I don't deal with the players after the game. I always give myself time to, because it can be too emotional. So you can say things, you can shout things that arguably you don't mean, or you might not get it right. So I look at that and go, well, if I'm consistent, so we debrief every game as we do, whether we win, lose, or draw, and try to be more constructive with, if it's criticism, be constructive with not what you didn't do, but how we can do better on that. And if we did still, there were a lot of good came out of that game. We did a lot of good things in that game. And a lot of the debrief we've done this morning is a lot of the good things that came out of that game. It's not about putting a video. I'm not one of these who puts a video up and it's all rubbish and it's all stuff we've done wrong. Go, you didn't do that, you didn't do that, you didn't do that. That's not constructive. That's poor. So what I try to do is be honest. So if players don't do the jobs, I tell them, be honest. And again, this room is what we talk about, and they're honest with me. If they think that my standards are dropping, then they'll tell me. and I'm okay with that. So, you know, we try to have an honest conversation when we're dealing with what we've done well and what we need to improve on.